Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
You sound like you've had a right shite time.
Yeah, I suppose in a way, I mean, it's just, it's kind of like yeah, an experience. I can only really see it as an experience, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you kind of got to be in it, you know? You kind of got to see it. Well, to see it, you got to be in it, you might say. That sort of view. But yeah, like I was saying,
So what are you doing about your money then?
right now, I mean, I went down the job centre today and, I mean, it's almost embarrassing because, I know quite a few faces in there.
Yeah.
So I recognise you. And yeah, apparently they're going to pay me tomorrow. Apparently, but we'll see.
Where do you live? Where are you?
I live in Somerset.
Oh, right, so you're way, way. I was really nervous at the beginning, and that was obviously quite clear. So thank you so much for ringing in.
Yeah, I was. I mean, Vincent mentioned it on Sunday. He mentioned that there's going to be somebody coming on to talk about the benefit system. I thought, oh, wonderful,
Oh,
wonderful.
that's really good. How do you think it went?
Yeah, it went fine. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I came straight in and started yapping
That,
because I felt the need to suddenly talk about this. Yeah, so I mean, like I was saying, just when I was in the social fund, for instance, it's like the attitude becomes very sort of. It's like with some of the decision makers, they always called them.
yeah.
Their attitudes were quite because you had two sections, and you had the decision maker section, and you had the review section, and the review section was like an appeal section,
Yeah.
and the appeal section, rather the review section, was always, which I noticed, it was well in this department, it was all. I found it very interesting. It was all women. In the review section, it was all women. There was not a man in the review section. Maybe it was just coincidence, because I mean they've been there for like some of them have been there for like 20 years,
Yeah.
So, but they were kind of like the more compassionate section
Yeah.
because they kind of went into more detail and they went into more fairness because they looked deep into the situation of people, and they usually ended up.
You do generally get one, and you do
Yeah,
generally get you get looked at decently as you should do.
as you should do, but I mean that should.
Happen at the beginning. You should get that.
Yeah, it should get that in the beginning, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they would usually have a decent outcome. They would usually pay people what needed it, desperately needed it. But in the initial decision makers, they would just, I mean, there was one guy there that wouldn't even take 5 minutes to make a decision.
Just
He would just look at it and go, decision. Decision. He wouldn't even think about it.
see, I don't think I could ever be like that. I just don't think I could.
I think maybe some of them are just, I think they just become psychopathic. I don't know what it is. It's like, I think they just lose themselves, and it just becomes like it's just a job. I don't care. I've got my own
I
life.
used to work when I used to work there. We used to sit. We used to sit. I used to work for Camberwell area office, and they were having their building refurbished. So everything was. You couldn't visit the office. You had to make a call. So the phones were always jam packed. So you'd take a call, deal with the person, put the phone on sort of on hold while you wrote up your notes, and then put the phone back on. As soon as you put the phone back on, it'd ring back off the hook. People would leave the phone off the hook. People, other people on my section, on my table, would get up, go for a fag, make a coffee, leave people on hold. And
Yeah, it's terrible.
that was acceptable because you'd sit at a table and the decision maker would be at the top of the table, and they would know this is before computers, so all the adding up, all the calculation of your money was all done by hand. There were no computers then. There were, but we weren't using them. But
Yeah.
people just didn't give a fuck. They really didn't give a shit. Skype me tomorrow if you have any problems. You ask them for a crisis loan then if you don't get paid
Well,
tomorrow.
what I was going to say is, look, we've got a fucking Upper Insider here.
Yeah, it's nice.
Well,
Do you want to join me?
yeah, this is exactly what I was just about to say. Is how about getting yourself fucking empowered and let's break this fucker together. You up for that? Got board time on your hands?
Say again?
I said, have you got board time on your hands?
Do you want to join me?
I'm always bored. But the thing is that I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well,
I don't either.
Well, no, exactly. Well, none of us do. Essentially, we've got the website, okay, which we've already bought the domain name for, and we've got a hosting service ready to host it. So we're in the process of somebody's designing the homepage, and then we've got somebody else going to be working on the actual web. We've got all the tech covered. So basically, what we're going to have is a web presence with basically the latest news from the kind of welfare scene, articles about welfare rights. Links to any regulations that are mentioned in the articles so that anybody can research it themselves. We're going to be offering a free at source welfare rights service.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to say this, I didn't.
Yeah, no, you
shit.
didn't. Well, we haven't got the website up
Yeah.
yet, and to be quite honest, it's your first show, so don't worry too much. Right, in the absence of the website at the moment, we're using the Skype room as the source that people can come to. Mm-hmm. Right, so we're looking for good minds that aren't going to meddle. They're not going to start trying to answer questions of people's that they don't know the answer to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But if it's something that's straightforward and you do know the answer to, you know what I mean, like a bit of form filling, or, you know what I mean, should I say this? If you know for a fact that that's the answer, or you can look up the reg yourself and tell them the answer, what we can do with is people of that kind of calibre to be trained up while we're working.
Okay.
You need to. Well, we don't know what's going to happen.
Well,
think about it, but it's really nice that you phoned in. And
yeah.
The thing is that, I mean, it's also what they're doing, obviously, the system from people's outside perspective, like, let's say from our perspective. I hear things about what's going on with inside as well. And it's like the government isn't just attacking people. They're attacking their own employees. They really are. I mean, the call centers, for instance, it's literally like the attitude towards the staff is you're a child, and if you want to take a piss, you've got to tell us.
Yeah.
It literally is. I mean, they really do treat them. I mean, the call center is based entirely on time.
I mean, you just opened
how
up
demoralising.
You just opened up another whole fucking angle. Because what about the fucking welfare workers' fucking rights, which are being used under the same system?
Oh, the life that I had before I was made redundant. Christ.
I mean, I'm taking your treatment in the service wasn't particularly fucking.
No, I mean, the service made me sick. It made me ill.
It made me fucking.
Elena's fucking 7 stone. She's like a fucking skeleton.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was made redundant in the end.
Well, we ended up, when facing redundancy, we literally decided that the very best thing that could possibly happen to her would be to be made redundant at that moment, because she probably wouldn't have survived another year in the service.
Yeah. I was working so hard. Because I worked in in a borough, so there were 4 of us initially. 2 left, they didn't replace them. So 2 of us had to cover, so I'd be doing 2 people's job, being paid the same money. You're talking about working with really, really vulnerable families that have got nothing, people with no recourse to public funds, so can't even claim any benefits. So you've got to help these people as well, that have got, asylum seekers, really difficult people to work with, really difficult. It just, we weren't even allowed to tell people that we were going. The only thing we were allowed to say was the service was changing. We weren't allowed to say we were going until before.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I remember in the last 6 months, I think I was there, I was working in the crisis lounge section, and there's basically, it was also a section, they called it, I think it was called a crisis lounge section, yeah, I think that's what they called it. It was a living expenses, I think, it was a living expenses section. There was I remember, they basically got me to do this pretty shitty job, because, I didn't have a job. And what I mean is that they didn't want, even though I was employed, they didn't have a position for me. So I used to go to work and just wander around the building for 8 hours. I used to wander around the building for 8 hours. I used to spend...
You're kidding?
Oh yeah. No, I'm not kidding. No, I would literally have to wander around the building, or I'd go in the smoking room for a couple of hours, or I'd just go wandering around and talk to people I'm used to know, go in and out of departments and say, hello, how are you? I had no
admin officer, an admin assistant, were you?
Admin assistant, yeah, because they just didn't give a fuck anymore.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it really got that bad, and then they started they started sort of blaming me. Well, what are you doing? Surely there's something for you to do. I'll give you something to do. And I say, well, I'm not going to do some poxy little job you want me to do because you feel like it. I want a real position. And they used to get me in and out of storerooms and say, I'll clean that up. Oh, our storeroom's a bit dirty. Could you, and all this kind of crap, And I think it was based on my position because I was just like the bottom position, just admin assistant. I mean, there were opportunities where I could have gone for promotion, but I looked at that and I thought, I want nothing to do with that. Because I can see the higher I go, the more shittier I've got to become. I'm not going to accept. So I wasn't going to accept that. And, our wages was low. I mean, back in 1998, 99, when I started, I think I was on $7,500.
Obviously, when I go sign on, they know I used to do welfare rights work, so they're looking for EOs and decision makers in, our local area. Guess how much it is? It's like 26 to 28 grand. That's it. I would not be a decision maker for that kind of money. I just wouldn't. That's shocking. Really, the responsibility that you carry doing that job, and they pay you shite money. It's unbelievable. I was really shocked.
Well, yeah. I mean, I used to say to the AOs, the ones just above me, the ones just below the decision makers, the EOs, I said I wouldn't go for promotion because I don't think you get paid enough for what you do. I just wouldn't do it.
Well, I was an AO when I was 21, and I was paid 100. I used to take home 100 quid a week then, which wasn't bad when that would have been, I don't know, 80 something. So it weren't bad money then. I couldn't believe the difference. I was really shocked.
Well, they used to manipulate the wages, and everybody agreed that there was a manipulation going on.
Well, there must be something for you to start on $7,000.
Well, put it this way: when I left, 5-6 years later, I was on 12.
Christ, that's still shit though.
Yeah, I know it's shit. That's back in 2004, I think.
Christ almighty.
2005, yeah.
What's that take home? Christ, nothing.
Yeah, but you know why? Because it's a manipulation of the wage. Because they used to give you do you remember when they used to go on about the
Oh, you used to get the inner London allowance. I used to get that.
Yeah, but I mean, they used to give a table, and after 5 years you reach a maximum.
Yeah, you'd get like increments, wouldn't you? Did you get many?
I moved up one step in 6 years.
You're kidding? Was it not automatic?
No, because they kept on changing in the rules every year. They said they said we're cutting overtime. Oh God, what was it they said? Oh God, it was to do. It was to do with because it was all mathematical, because it was percentages, based on this percent of the wage, blah blah. You rise up. So because they kept on reducing it back, even though it looked as if you were moving up, you weren't. You were staying at exactly the same place. It was an absolute fraud con that was going on, and everybody knew it. And even when they were going to pay you, oh yeah, we're going to give you a pay rise this year. You won't get it until
get it late,
6
don't you? Yeah,
6 months, because it's all sitting there in the fucking treasury, gaining interest.
And then they tax it to fuck, don't they? Yeah.
And then they tax it to fuck. Yeah, I mean, it's not a healthy place to live. And what used to make me laugh is that people used to say to me, "Oh, that's a good job, that is." Yeah, you're right there.
Hucker. Yeah, you've landed on your feet there, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's, it's making me ill when I'm losing my hair. Great.
Yeah.
But I mean, what else is, sometimes other stories is that, you used to get, you can't get them wrong exactly. When you're in a job like that, you do take a hell of a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
There are people, and it's not necessarily people's fault. They're not bad people. It's just they're really in the shit.
Yeah.
There's drug addicts. There's people who are probably losing their homes, and there's people who owe loan sharks, and you get some people in really bad states, and they're calling for crisis loans and whatever. They need cookers, they need clothes, they need this kind of thing, and when they don't get what they want, they really get abusive and angry. And even though I can understand it as well.
Yeah.
When you're on the other end of the phone,
but you still don't want to be sworn at and shouted at.
Yeah, I know. I've had people get death threats. I've heard them really, get death threats over the phone.
Really?
Oh yeah. Some guys are on the phone and this is the pisser. This is the pisser. because you're an AO and you're an in-betweenie, so basically, because you've got to take the calls, you've got to take responsibility for the arsehole who made the decision. So you're the one in the middle who has to take all the shit.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that, you know, and I used to sit there and I used to say to the AOs, why do you allow this? They're making decisions over there and they're not taking any responsibility.
Yeah.
And you're taking all the crap and all the death threats and all the abuse. But of course they're just used to it and they say, well, that's kind of the way it is. You know, this is kind of the
that is the way it is.
You know? I mean, sometimes, if you got a guy who would really, really, really push it and he kept them calling in and he really kept them really pushing it and the decision maker would, you know, the decision maker said, okay, give me the call, I'll try and deal with this guy. But they wouldn't deal with him professionally. It was more like a couple of lads in a scrap. It was kind of like, I'll just take the piss out of this guy. The attitude wasn't good.
Really?
I mean, you know, there was one guy who was a real psycho. And, he was known to be in and out of prison and he was known to be a violent individual. And, you know, the decision makers were just passing the phone around to each other and they all just were taking the piss out of him.
How horrible is that?
You know, I couldn't believe it. And this guy, who was a bit of a nutter, he wasn't stupid. He was a clever guy. He was one of those intelligent types.
Yeah, or even worse then.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, well, you know, this guy could find out where you live one day. You ought to be real careful about what you say. You know?
Bomb you outside.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right, okay. Yeah, this is a bit of a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
How empowering has this week been?
It's been really good. I was really nervous at first, so it probably didn't go very well
not
at
just
first.
the radio, I mean the other shit.
Yeah, it's been really nice.
For fucking Dan,
yeah.
Going to fucking Dave's and sorting that out. Fucking...
Yeah, and, you know, as I say, I think we need to play them at their game. It's the only way we're going to win.
And I'm suggesting perhaps this would be an incredibly empowering thing for you as well. What we're dealing with here is... Alright, okay, example. Right, my mate Dave, down the road here, got in touch earlier in the week when he heard doing this service.
Mm-hmm.
The day before, a mate of his had been wanting to top himself. The one that was talking about on air, the guy who hadn't had any benefits since October.
Yeah.
It's to the point of topping himself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because Dave was able to say, no, hang on, I've got somebody I can put you in touch with. Yeah, and 2 days later, the guy's now got his fucking job seekers coming through. Yeah, tell me that guy ain't turned around.
Yeah, he was really happy today.
Yeah.
No, just knowing that somebody else is going to deal with it for him.
Dan and his missus, the trouble that they would have been in if we hadn't been able to bundle out.
Yeah, it's a good thing to be able to do.
The point is, would I be right in thinking that most of the forms now are online? You can do quite a few.
No, I think, you can do it online, but I think a lot, like JSA in particular, it's all over the phone now.
Alright, okay.
Yeah, you've got to go to the call centers. I mean, even if you go on, you can visit the website, and it's just phone numbers.
Well, like I say, all I was wondering is if you'd be happy to be just included in a group on Skype here, yeah, and just simply sit there in the background, read what. None of what we're doing is we're making sure that it's. I mean, essentially, what we need is we need moderators on the group. Yeah, essentially, so if somebody gets included into the group that we've not met before, that they get warned not to put any private info in the public group, to save all of that for private message, to be asked if they wouldn't mind putting a general outline of what their problem is, and if it turns out to be something really straightforward that you absolutely 100% know the answer to, just simply go, oh, I know the answer to that. That's simple.
Yeah.
Would you be happy being included in that group? I mean, even if you decide never to do anything, yeah. Mm-hmm. If you just have a look and see.
Well, have a think about it. That'd be nice if you would do that. Drag you into the group. That'd be nice.
Drag you into the group. You can have a look and see what's going on in there. It'd
be nice to have you about, though.
Yeah, if it bores you, or it doesn't interest you, or it takes too much of your time, just simply leave the group.
So is this group up all the time?
Yeah. It's just on, look, I'll drag you in so you can see it, although you won't be able to.
Right, okay. Yeah,
it's very new. It's only set up Sunday.
Oh, right, welfare. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, I've never been on a Skype group before. I always wonder where.
Neither had I. Blimey.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's just like a forum, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, and it's and the brilliant.
But a bit more private.
They're private, and you can self-administer them. Yeah.
So someone's a tosser, I can kick them out.
Well,
Yeah.
even better, because I'm administering the room, I have to kick everybody out. So rather than getting the hate mail, I do.
Which is cool for me.
But fuck them. This isn't playing. This isn't fucking trusts. This isn't Freeman Reed. This is people's fucking lives. Essentially, what happened to us was a friend of ours committed suicide just before Christmas, and that's how we've ended up with the pups. Because his dog gave birth the day that he topped himself. Got a wife and two kids behind. I'm not prepared to see that happen again.
Because he owed money.
Not fucking
because he just couldn't see a way out.
Not fucking happening. I'm not seeing anybody that I fucking know go to the fucking wall because of this fucking system.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the Freeman routes, all the fucking trusts, all this, the fucking Dean Clifford, they can all go fuck. Yeah. We've got to start actually fucking banding together and fucking helping each other in whatever way we know how.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why I keep saying, use to play them at their game. Use the regs. There are ways. There are always ways.
So now in this group room, basically people will be dragging people that they know into that room, or including people into that room. So basically, if you know somebody that needs to get in touch with, you simply add them as a contact on Skype, grab their name and drag it into that group.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you don't manage to include them properly, I'll spot it, add them as a contact and drag them in later or whatever. And essentially it can be fully administered. Like I say, when people come into the group, all we really need is meet them and greet them. Yeah, people who are prepared to come in, to just go, oh, hello, doesn't look like Freeman Jack or TheWellFairy are about at the moment. Please feel free to post your general questions in here, but please don't post any private information.
Yeah.
Keep that for private messages.
Right, okay.
Yeah, just something along those lines. Again, don't feel that you must or that you've got to keep your eye on it or anything like that. Just when you've got your Skype on, if you see that little light flashing on that group, just have a look in, see what you think is going on there.
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of a discussion group, you know what I mean, on the subject of welfare. So if you've got something to add to a conversation that's going on in there, feel free to.
Well, I think if you're gonna talk about these things, I think the best way to talk about them is from your own experiences. Really, it's like giving your own stories and kind of discuss what kind of helped you, what maybe didn't help you. It's like when I said with you earlier on the radio, the only time they start to change their tune is when you kind of say, "I'm under threat here. It's an emergency." So. I mean, I kind of slightly had to bullshit him a little bit because I said to the woman, I'm kind of partial to walking, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah? They kind of go, oh, right, okay, you better get on the phones quick then.
Yeah, well, I think they've actually had to do new suicide training, haven't
they,
in all the job centres.
They've had new guidance.
I think you kind of have to show them that they're responsible.
Yeah.
You have to tell them, look, you're responsible. Because if I have to drag myself in here with a broken nose and a busted chin, or whatever, and I'll show you what your decision has done. Let's see if you can sleep at night.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah.
I bet they wouldn't sleep at night. They might even kill themselves. So I shouldn't say that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, we can only hope.
Because it's a real kind of wake up call for them.
Yeah, yeah, it would be.
Because they're making decisions, and it's kind of, it's like the whole Nuremberg trials, doing my job doesn't cut it, mate.
And why should that be okay? It's not okay. It's not okay. It really isn't okay.
No.
Right, it's just so not okay. I can't imagine having no money for 4 weeks. I just cannot. It's happened to me in the past, but at this point in my life, we couldn't be without money for 4 weeks. How the fuck would we feed the kids? What the hell would you do? Christ, just bad, isn't it?
I think if you've got dependents, then yeah, it doesn't. I mean, whatever your situation, I mean, if you've just got say 40 quid in the bank, let's just say or less, and you're thinking, Jesus, they haven't paid me. Christ, I've got bills. Let's say you've got bills coming in.
Yeah.
Let's say you've got some asshole at your door, whatever. You're sitting there, you're thinking, how does this work? I thought isn't this meant to be a service? I mean, Isn't it there for a reason?
And people get into debt, then start borrowing money from people.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I had some of the decision makers, now you mentioned that, on Social Fund, actually tell people, well, I mean, they've actually said to people, because say someone's asked for a cooker.
Yeah.
And, you need to cook your food, right? Their attitude really is, they wouldn't give them the money for the cooker, for whatever reason. I never worked out specifically, because I never ever discussed it.
Because they can turn it down, can't they?
Yeah, they can turn it down. And when they call in to ask why, if they get even slightly argumentative, the decision maker would make a scripted excuse, and it was scripted because they all said it.
Yeah.
Say, well, can't you eat cold food? They would say that to them.
They don't.
Oh yeah, they'd say that. And also they would say, well, don't you have a credit card? Oh yeah, I'm not making this up.
I thought it was bad when I worked there, but I just can't imagine working amongst people like that. You poor thing, Christ.
And I'd sit there and I would work out, trying to think, why are they like this? Why are they like this? And I thought, I don't want to be there.
No.
Be in that position. There's no way. I'd rather just live on these shit wages and just stay where I am than want to bring myself up higher and higher to a position like that, Because I mean the bosses were, Jesus. I mean even the ones that went up to HEO, SEO position, they don't give a shit.
Oh no.
They don't give a shit about people, and they don't give a shit about their staff.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have a couple of really decent EOs that used to, try and look after you.
Yeah, we had one who was a nice guy. I mean, there's one there who's, he seemed like a nice fella, I mean,
yeah.
But it's kind of like, because it comes down from up on high, he's just another guy stuck in a corner. He's like, I've got no power. What can I do?
We used to say as New Age travellers, if you ever meet a good farmer, make sure you shoot him quick before he turns bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sorry, it's what they used to say about our dogs.
Oh, right. Okay.
Just don't shoot them quick before they turn bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing about your thing tomorrow? If you have any problems, Skype me. I'll check my Skype.
Okay, I'll have a look, because I'm still trying to, in the process of working out, how I'm gonna sort of survive it, because like I said to you earlier. So I know you got to go, but just quickly, that they're still, they're constantly on your back, and you're under threat. So about finding so-called jobs,
Yeah, I mean, you have to show how you're actively looking for work. I have to do 3 things a week. I've got to sign on tomorrow, so I'll be down the job centre tomorrow.
Just quickly, one more thing. I mean, this isn't the only time I claimed JSA. I did claim JSA once before, and after 6 months, they basically just shove any job in your face, and they say, go for that. Even caring jobs, and I would consider caring to be a professional job, and you need super training for doing a caring job, as far as I'm concerned. And they said, do this, and I said, look, I can't do that. They sanctioned me.
Did they?
Oh yeah, just for one job. I was applying I was doing exactly what they wanted me to do. I was applying for all these jobs. For one, they put one job in front of me. I said, no, I cannot do that. That's not right. They said, wait, sanction, boom. They just cut me off. Damn. That was it. That was when I had to go into incapacity.
Christ, and how long did you have no money?
I decided that I had to reclaim a new benefit, which was incapacity.
Yeah, so you claimed IB. So that was a while ago.
So yeah, so that that was kind of like if you get into a bit of a problem, you can jump from one benefit to another, but
not anymore.
No, not anymore, because now with DLA, they screw you. Yeah.
And one other thing as well, there. If you're saying that you know people in the job centre, if you come across any disgruntled people that are wanting to become either anonymous whistleblowers or just simply are prepared to go on record about what their service is going through, and especially if you know anyone that's getting sacked, even better.
I'll tell you what, you could literally just write a little A5, a little A5 flyer and just go in the job centre and start giving it out to the staff. That's what I mean. You could literally do that.
Yeah.
Describe an employee. Come to me. Just tell us what you know. The people are asking for you. We want to know.
They're more than happy to tell you. Yeah. I hope.
Just come in. Well, hopefully they will. Maybe. I mean, it's always a minority, isn't it? 1 or 2, maybe.
Oh God, you were sanctioned for that. That's shocking.
You don't even know. This is Neonmachine, one of the tunes that I...
Oh, I wrote that 5 years ago. I haven't written anything. Well, I've written a few things, but
contributors to my early shows. Cool. You know, all the non-copyright stuff that I used to play in the early days.
Cool.
I spotted it because I've got a 46 gigabyte music library.
Fucking hell.
It's a bit mega.
And that's not all of it either. That's just the one library.
You criminal! No.
Not a penny paid for any of it. Fuck.
Yeah.
I've got my eye patch to boot. I've got a big vinyl collection, you know what I mean? That's all paid for. It's not like I pay for music, there's no pay for virtual music.
You've got to pay for vinyl, though, because it's worth it, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, quite right. A vinyl lover. Any problems, give me a shout.
Yeah, I will do.
No, really?
I don't know what, I don't know, I'm not too sure what to ask you, though. I'm not too sure.
What can they ask me? You? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, what I think I'd ask the question what everybody else is asking. That's what can I do?
Well, if they don't pay you tomorrow, get a crisis loan. If you're skint, ask them for a crisis loan.
Yeah.
Give you a crisis loan. If you've got no money.
I think. Do you know that I think this is only what I think is happening now, from what I found out before, that the government either is or has changed or is going to now charge interest on crisis loans. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
No, sure they are. I'm sure they're either going to or they are charging a form of small interest on loans now.
I didn't think they were allowed to. I'll check.
Lawless society, huh?
Because I know all social funds going over to local authority control from April, and they're already saying there won't be a duty to provide a community care grant.
There's another contribution that we're going to be needing for the website is contributions like that, where, you know what I mean, if you stumble across something like that, just let us know.
Absolutely.
On the site, you know what I mean? Let's let people essentially there appears to be no single source on the internet for any of this. So we're going to make it.
Yeah.
And they ain't going to like it. But we don't care.
Yeah, I think it's living expenses that you claim for. Crisis loan, crisis loan you can only claim for things like clothes.
No,
Sure.
No, you can get a crisis loan.
But isn't there two forms of a crisis loan? There's a crisis loan from what I remember, for clothes and some sort of items. There's items crisis loan, and then there's living expenses.
Okay, so the broken down bit of the price.
Yeah, there's an items version, and there's living expenses. So obviously, like bills and stuff like that. I think it will probably be living expenses. Yeah, and I never wanted to either because I didn't want to go into the system, and because I kind of understood the whole mortgage thing, and I didn't want any part of it.
Sorry, I just wrote down what I was just talking to you.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I just can't do two things at once.
I do it all the time in the fucking chat boxes. It's terrible.
Better go, Ben. Better go.
That's why I don't do the TNS chat while I'm on air. I only ever do it when I've got a tune playing. Because if I ever go near there when I'm on air, I either start saying what I'm typing or typing what I'm saying, and the two ain't the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the thing.
All right, Shane. Well, look, good luck with that tomorrow. Mate.
Yeah, give me a call if you want to, need to, whatever. But you'll be around chat box. We'll speak again.
Okay, you're under the welfare, are you? Just the welfare? Welfare?
I'll chuck contact.
All right. Okay. Excellent. And this is another thing I think people need to discuss is when the government thinking that they can have a cut of that called inheritance tax. I think they can piss off. I don't care how rich or poor you are. I don't think the government has ever got any right to take anything from your children like that.
No.
You know? Oh, we're going to have our cut too. Piss off. That's for my children. Who the hell are you? Oh yeah, but look, birth certificate. You know.
Yeah, God.
I think the only real goal of all of this is kind of really just being left the hell alone. I think that's what we really want, isn't it? Just to be left alone.
Away and leave the fucking alone.
Exactly, just fuck off. I think that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll start a new Skype group called Just Fuck Off.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Keep it simple. Yeah, I'll keep it simple. Fuck off and leave me alone. You know? Anyway, I've got to go. Okay, so I'll see you again. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, be nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Take care now.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
See ya.